during the Bush administration was contracted along with several other scientists to devise a list. This was the mandate. They came to them and said, here's the issue. We have crashed UFOs and we have recovered biological entities that are not of this world. What would be the pros? And they didn't tell them if this was true or not. They said, what would be the pros of disclosure? What would be the cons? And I want you to attach a numerical value to each one. So disruption of government, religion, politics, all these different things. Like what would happen to the nuclear family? Like what happens if we know we're not alone? What happens if we are visited on a consistent basis? What happens? And when they did it at the end, all of the scientists had achieved similar conclusions that the cons outweighed the pros in terms of numbers. And so because of that, they decided not to disclose. So this was like during the 1980s, I guess? 90s? When was Bush 2? No, okay, 2000. So 2000. So it was around then. Yeah.
Yeah, what do they know? What do they tell you the first day?
I don't think they tell you the first day. I think the president is a temp. The president's like a substitute teacher. I don't think you get to know much. I don't think Trump knows.
Well, I think they
probably told him
all,
some things.
I worry that the government is like, there's a theory that there hasn't really been an American government since 1945.
Kennedy. No, since 63.
Well, because everything got siloed. Mm-hmm. Like in wartime, everyone's talking to everyone and making everything happen, and it's like, okay,
right,
we're at war,
right.
And then everything gets siloed, and okay, that's a secret thing, that's a secret thing, that's a secret thing, and then the guy that's holding the secret keys retires, and
right.
that whole department's just
right.
funded forever, but you don't quite, they're not talking to them.
And then you have people that are in great positions of power that get off on keeping these secrets and keeping this information and having the knowledge and keeping it only to themselves, especially if they're manipulating things. This was like a big problem with the CIA, and this led to when they had the disclosures and the Church Commission, and when people found out what the CIA was up to and all the weird shit they did with MK Ultra, and
oh my God, that book! I got to thank you for that book.
Oh, Chaos, incredible.
So
I can't recommend it enough.
I listened to the episode. I went back and listened to your episode with the guy, and I went, okay, this is interesting. What's he called again?
Tom O'Neill.
Tom O'Neill. He's got a new podcast, by the way.
Does he?
He's got a new podcast where he's kind of going like an in-depth interview. It's with Rick Rubin's. You know, Rick Rubin's got a podcast. It's his podcast company has done one with him.
I didn't even know Rick Rubin had a podcast company. That's funny. I love Rick. I text him all the time. I didn't even know he had a podcast
He's got a great podcast.
He's the best.
Oh, he's such a...
He'll entertain any ideas. He's wonderful. He gets down the rabbit hole.
But I listened to the thing, and then I went away and I read the book, and the book is like you kind of read it and go, well, this can't be like, that's an extraordinary chapter. This can't get any weirder. And then you go, oh sorry, Charles Manson is connected to the Kennedy assassination, and sorry, he's also connected to the MK Ultra experiments, which are real, which sound so much fucking weirder than any other conspiracy theory you've ever heard.
And they're real.
Yeah,
yeah.
And you can't. I mean, it's like. The book is just it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a great book. It's all history. It's all the United States history, and it's what happens when people have unchecked power. They do crazy things, and what our government did was a lot of mind control experiments rather. Yeah,
a lot.
There's a lot of crazy shit that's happened in this country. So I would not be surprised if they do have knowledge of us being visited, and they've kept it under wraps. Just as they kept a lot of things under wraps. They've infantilized a giant percentage of our population to just trust the government, and trust the science, and trust the people in charge, and trust authority. And
I don't know, though, because if they visited America, then they visited China and Russia, and you sort of think, well, balance of probability, all of those governments don't agree about anything. Mm-hmm. Like, so the idea of going, well, if they're here, they're everywhere.
According to Hal Puthoff, the United States is in possession of recovered vehicles, and so are other countries. And there's essentially like a Manhattan Project type deal where the race to reverse engineer this technology is at a very high level. and governments are involved in it, and they try to keep things as secret as possible, because whoever can achieve the results first will have immense technological superiority over all of its enemies. If these things are real, if they do have some sort of a device that can move through space in a way that we just can't even fathom, which traverse immense distances almost instantaneously. This is what we've been told by the people that have worked with these things. And, it's hard to know. It's hard to know what's bullshit. It's hard to know because it all sounds like bullshit. But
I
it
think
would sound like bullshit unless you experience
I'm sorry,
it.
but that thing of like, yeah, it does sound like bullshit in a sense. But then there's also the other thing of like, if you showed me that flip phone in 1982,
Yep.
I'd have gone, well, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
You can't fold a TV, so
Right.
you can all fuck off. Like,
Right. How's the TV that thin anyway?
what are you talking
Yeah.
about? What do you mean you can make calls on it? What?
Right.
How is there a camera on your phone? What's going? Like, we get used to shit so quick. Like, someone had that thing of like, I don't know when the Wright brothers first flew the plane, but it's like 60 years later we land on the moon.
Not only that, we dropped a nuclear bomb out of one of those planes in less than that.
Yeah.
That was like 50 years.
It's
From the invention of that stupid plane, the first plane with like wood and fucking cloth and shit.
But this is
From
Eric's
that?
point of like,
Yeah.
if you Eric Weinstein and who else says it? The guy I used to work for. He often sort of says, if you minus the screens from the room, we're in the 1970s.
Yes.
Which I think is kind of like, what's happened since then? What are they working on that we haven't? They're like, is there going to be a ta-da moment where they pull back the sheet and go, yeah, look at that?
Well, I think there's probably multiple things that are happening simultaneously. And then the AI one, if that one hits, all the other ones are going to seem trivial. Because the AI one is essentially the creation of a superior being, a thing that is more intelligent than us, has all the access to information that humans have, plus the ability to engineer itself.
But it's
and make it
interesting.
more
Okay, we were talking about earlier about purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it's missing. So the idea of like the Turing test
Mm-hmm.
is it's the wrong end of the telescope. Can it fool us? Anyone can fool us.